Bath salts. In the news, makes people go wild. What is it? Where does it come from? What are the effects of it? We're gonna get into everything. Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, coming at you. Anyone new here, I am in recovery myself from addiction, also a certified recovery coach. Here to give you guys all the info and knowledge on everything in addiction, recovery, and everything in between. The hard stuff that people don't like to talk about. Remember, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. Thank you to everyone supporting Soberdog, Patreon, buying shirts, leaving a comment, smashing that like, subscribing, sharing, whatever. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are bath salts? Bath salts are a human-made stimulant chemically related to cathinones. Cathinones are found in the cat plant, K-H-A-T, which is a plant in East Africa and Southern Arabia. People chew on it and get like a mild stimulant effect. Somewhere along the line, people produce this synthetically, mimicking or trying to mimic the cathinones in the cat plant, and they created the bath salts. It is often referred to as a synthetic cathinone. So chemically, the bath salts and the cathinones in them are very similar to methamphetamine and MDMA, ecstasy, Molly. The common lab-made cathinones found in bath salts include 3,4-methylene dioxypyrovalerone, which I don't know if I pronounced that exactly right, but MDPV, also mephedrone and methylone. All those are commonly in the synthetic cathinones made. What do bath salts look like? Typically, they're a white or brown crystal-like powder. They look like salt grains, but bigger, like salt chunks. Sometimes they're pink, sometimes they're brown, most common they're white, and then people crush them, grind them, and get them down into a powdery form. When they're sold, they're usually in small, containers, typically plastic or foil, and they're usually always labeled not for human consumption. And one of the ways businesses and the trade has been able to go on with these is they mark them not for human consumption, and they mark it as phone screen cleaner or jewelry cleaner or plant food. They mark it like that and sell it. Pretty much everyone buying it knows what it is and that it's not jewelry cleaner, but that's what they market as a product that has nothing to do with human consumption. How do people use bath salts? Typically, they can swallow it, snort it, smoke it, inhale it, or inject it. Pretty much any way that any other substance can be used, and people do all of them. People I've talked to research this video and also just in recovery from them describe it is not the most pleasant thing to snort. It is very rough, so to speak, physically on the nose and all that, but they're willing to go through that to get their quote high or their effect. Injecting was a very common way as well, and how it was described to me when injected is like a meth high, a very big rush, very similar to like a meth high. So what's going on in the brain when somebody uses bath salts? What is it? What are they actually doing to affect the brain? Researchers don't really know exactly. This is something that's ongoing. They're trying to figure out and trying to study. It has been shown to be chemically similar to amphetamines, cocaine, and MDMA. So all of those affect the brain in their own ways, and this has been shown to be similar. Big time with neurotransmitter dopamine. Talked a lot about dopamine. Dopamine's like our reward system. It gets released when we're doing pleasurable things, and then we seek that pleasurable thing back out. Drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine release, hundreds of times the dopamine as kissing your significant other or, being outside on a sunny day. So insane amounts. Bath salts is right up there. A study conducted on MDPV, that long word, that methylene dioxypyrovalerone, showed that it does affect the brain in a manner similar to cocaine, but here's the huge piece, 10 times more powerful. That is insane. From somebody who used a ton of cocaine and injected it daily, I cannot imagine injecting something 10 times more powerful. MDPV, that long name, which is one of the main cathinones, is the most common synthetic cathinone found in blood and urine of patients admitted to the emergency department after taking bath salts. So that is the main one that is making people freak out. What are the effects of bath salts and how does it make the user feel? Some of the side effects are paranoia, extreme and unreasonable distrust of others, increased friendliness, increased sex drive, extreme hallucinations, excited delirium, panic attacks, increased heart rate, violent behavior, euphoria, intense happiness, sweating, feeling sick to the stomach and vomiting, irritability, dizziness, depression, reduced control of movements, and cloudy thinking. This is a lady on bath salts. I'm not the biggest fan of showing people in active addiction struggling, but this is important as per the video and some of the effects it can have. Just check this out. I mean, as you can see, she is clearly freaking out, and also how that looks to me from somebody who's been in that state in other ways, other substances, there is a total disconnect from reality. Like it looks like she cannot even control her arms or her legs. She's just out of it. Those people standing around, other people, like there's a total, trying to tell somebody like that, like calm down, come with me, why don't you sit up? It's like talking to a dog in computer code. It doesn't connect, it doesn't sink in. She is just in a whole new state of insanity until that substance wears off. Are bath salts addictive? Yes. Research has shown that bath salts are highly addictive. People who use them report the drug causing intense urge to use again and cravings, tolerance, dependence, all that builds up, withdrawal symptoms, which I'll get to in a minute. Anything that releases that much dopamine is going to be addictive. I mean, you could take social media, putting out a social media post and seeing the likes releases dopamine, eating chocolate, having sex, all these things release dopamine. So a substance that releases hundreds of times the dopamine of those things, yes, it's going to be incredibly addictive. And the problem is, when we don't have it, we are so depressed and below baseline, we will do anything to get more. That's why crack is so bad. Is there a withdrawal from coming off bath salts? Yes. Can cause depression, anxiety, tremors, seizures, problems sleeping, paranoia, hallucinations, and basic delirium. Those all sound very similar to me like cocaine and meth withdrawal. It's not as physical as heroin withdrawal, but it's incredibly mental and psychological. How do you get off bath salts? Do people get off them? Yes. Basically, same concept as any other drug, getting off them. You know, there's still a lot unknown, but cognitive behavioral therapy, recovery programs, 12-step, inpatient, outpatient detox. There is no MAT med for bath salts. You know, there's no medication like Suboxone is to opioids. You know, hopefully they'll find that, but for now it's just the general recovery programs that other people have used.